Welcome back to God Factor, where we raise awareness about God's invincible hand working behind the scene. Fasten your seatbelts, get comfortable, and open up your hearts to receive from today's podcast with Lola and Josephine.
Hi everyone, welcome back to God Factor. Today we are going to be addressing the topic of self-esteem and self-love.
And we do think that this is important because Valentine is coming and everybody is actually talking about love. Who's your Valentine? Who is your, and we just want to bring this up to be able to let our viewers know that, you see, you are your own best Valentine right now. And, you can celebrate yourself. Even if you're not dating or engaged or in a relationship or you're not married, you can still have a very great Valentine.
Valentine's Day, yeah. So we want to start off by differentiating between self-esteem and self-love. As some of you know, we've been looking at self-esteem not for a while, but the last time. People often confuse both, right?
Yeah.
Self-esteem and self-love. So I want us to properly differentiate between the two. What is self-esteem?
So self-esteem is the way you think about yourself, the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act.
Yeah.
That implies that you value yourself, you trust yourself, you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
This is actually self-esteem. In one word, is the way you think about yourself, and that affects how you feel and how you behave.
Yeah. Like my mom said, the way you feel about yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel disgusted about, the way you are? Do you think about yourself in a very negative way? So yeah, that's self-esteem. What about self-love?
What do you think?
Self-love is more so about how you treat yourself. It develops through behavior. So for example, you know how some people say, oh, I fell in love with her at first sight. I personally don't believe in that, because I don't think you can love someone that you just see. But as time goes on, you can begin to love that person. And that's how self-love is. You have to actually develop it. You have to take practical steps to do things that you love, and just to it's a behavioral thing. So it needs to be developed.
Yeah, and I love the perspective in which you're looking at it. You see, you don't fall in love. If you fall in love, you're going to fall out of love.
Yeah.
You see, you can be infatuated by someone. Maybe they have some features that you see, that you've seen before, that you really like. But, you can go a step further and begin to develop that love. But when you talk about love, it's an intentional thing that you make up your mind, to invest into. It's a lot of commitment when it comes to love.
Yeah.
So today we're just looking at what commitment are you making to yourself, commitment to treat yourself the way you would treat a best friend.
Oh, and I actually saw something online.
Okay.
It says, if we want to love ourselves, we should start behaving like someone who we can love.
Say that again.
If we want to love ourselves, we have to start behaving like someone who we want to love.
Wow.
So it kind of goes with like, treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Right. So you can't love someone in a very, like, you can't say you love someone and you're treating them badly, right? That kind of shows how you love yourself in a way. So
and let me just take it a step further, that if you want to love yourself, start to treat yourself the way that you would treat somebody who is very precious to you. Start treating yourself that way. The way you would treat somebody that you valued, the way you treat somebody that you respect, the way you treat somebody that is important to you. Start to treat yourself exactly that same way.
That's a really good way of looking at it, because most times we're so critical of ourselves, and I don't know why that is. It's so terrible.
Yeah, you see, self-love, like we said, is the way you treat yourself. You see, the reason why people treat themselves like garbage, pardon my word, is just because when you look in the mirror, you have certain expectations of yourself. The society has certain expectations of you. The social media has given you certain perspective of what beauty looks like. So at the back of your mind, you're constantly asking yourself whether you measure up to that. And the moment you see that you're not measuring up to that, then you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, why can't my face be, plumpier? Why can't my face be leaner? Why can't my teeth be whiter? You're just kind of looking at it from that perspective.
So I have a question, and the question is, can you have self-esteem and not self-love, or vice versa?
I think self-esteem is a component of self-love. It has to start from loving yourself. When you love yourself, for instance, those of us in a romantic relationship are married, if I love my husband, there's a way I will talk to him, there's a way I will treat him, there's a way I will validate him, there's a way I will encourage him, but it's just every other thing is coming out of the love that I have for him. So the same way too with self-love. Once the self-love is stable, self-esteem is easier to be able to for you to be able to give yourself that, that self-esteem. I don't know how to say that, but it has to start from loving yourself. And loving yourself start from you knowing who you are. If you go a little bit back, if you know that you're a princess, you know that you're valuable, you know that you're molded by the hand of the Lord, you know that the bare hand of the Almighty God mold you. So you're not an accident, a genetic accident. You're not just here for nothing's sake. Somebody invested a lot into you, and you don't invest in something that is not valuable.
I'm just thinking, because you said it has to first start with you loving yourself, but I feel like it has to start with how you think about yourself. So if you think about yourself in a very negative way, it'd be very difficult for you to love yourself. So I think self-esteem should come before self-love, don't you think?
Yeah, you're making me look at it from another perspective, which I really love. So your thoughts affect your feelings and affect your behavior. Okay, yes. I concur. I agree. Yes, it has to start from thinking, because anything that you don't conquer, thank you for bringing that in. Anything you don't conquer in your mind, you cannot conquer it, physically or behaviorally. For instance, I've seen a lot of gorgeous looking ladies, that when I see them, like my eyes will pop open. I'm like, you are beautiful. And they look at me, I'm like, I'm just a piece of garbage. That's the way they think about themselves. So no matter how everyone around them is looking at them, even though they are beautiful, but because they have a distorted view of who they are, then it should be very difficult for them to move to self-love. Thank you for bringing that in.
And it's so amazing because, again, your words are so powerful. So if you tell someone like me, I may look at you as a very beautiful human being, but if you tell me that you are garbage, or you are, or you are not beautiful, some part of you will start looking at you and be like, oh, maybe she isn't really that beautiful after all. So how you see yourself will affect how others see you too. So.
Do you have a personal example? I do have a personal example.
A personal example, so I shouldn't say I've been told lots of times, but there was a time when somebody commented on how big my lips were, and that made me so upset. It actually made me start to think. Before then I didn't even think that my lips were big. I just thought that they were normal, right? But even if they are big,
they are normal.
Even if they are big, though, that's where I'm coming from. Even if they are big, it shouldn't really matter. But that really affected me, and it really affected the way I began to see myself. So at a point I just had to suck it up. I'm like, I'm stuck with this lips forever. So I might as well just grow, and I might as well just grow to love them. So I began to think positively about this lips and start to name, so many people out there who would like big lips, and here I am. I have the big lips, so I just started to think in another way. Just started to think, change my thinking about how I saw my lips. So,
and you see, and that's the point, because you're not going to pattern your life according to somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
That was that person's opinion. Like, your lips and my husband's lip, your dad's lip, is the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love about my husband. His lips,
Yeah.
I can kiss that lips and know that it's full.
Oh my goodness.
It's supple. Oh, no. We're not going to talk about that. Let's not go there. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter if somebody is like, okay, I don't like that lips. That's somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
The next person is going to see like, whoa, your lips are really beautiful. And my experience also is growing up as a young girl, people normally make fun of my teeth. Like, my teeth are just so tiny, like a normal person's teeth. And for years, I didn't even want to smile, because I'm like, people are going to make fun of me. Until one day, I just look at myself in the mirror and like, no, I'm just going to start smiling, and I don't care who likes or who doesn't like. And when I started to smile, I had people's attention gone away from my teeth to my smile. And they're like, wow, you've got a beautiful smile. You just lit up the room, So never, guys, never let somebody's opinion determine the fact. The fact is, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. Start carrying yourself that way. Start treating yourself that way.
Any biblical example?
A biblical example I can think of is Eve. Eve was put in this gorgeous looking garden by the Almighty God. Everything she would ever need and require was provided, until the serpent came in a very subtle way and started questioning what the perfect thing that God has done in our life. And that's it, guys. Anything that puts a question mark on what God has done in your life, it's you need to resist it. He said, as God said, you will be like God. And the devil was pointing her attention to becoming what she's already is. So she couldn't see that she was already God, the small G. She already had the nature of God and everything. But because the devil came in a very slicky way and she entertained that thought, you see, she ended up losing that position that God has given unto her. If the devil comes next time, look at you and say, do you think you're really beautiful? Just tell the devil, yes, I am beautiful in my own way. Yeah, that's it.
To relate it to our world now, on social media, you see many adverts like, oh, if you buy this, or if you use this, you're going to have a slim body, a thick body, or if you use, this product, you're going to be more attractive to men. And I feel like that's another way the devil just tries to lower our self-esteem and get us to think that we are not good enough. So I mean,
and let me just wrap up by saying, don't let your motivation be, I want to attract men, or I want to attract this person. Let your motivation be, I owe myself a favor to love me. Because honestly speaking, you're the one that's going to be with yourself the longest time. You are going to be with yourself you've been with yourself when you were in the womb. When you came out, you were with yourself. You see, and all through your ages in life, you're going to be with yourself. So it's always good to start cultivating that beautiful, amazing, and loving relationship with yourself.
Wow. Okay, so that on that note, we are going to end today's podcast. Please stay tuned for next week's episode. We're going to be talking about practical ways to show yourself love. That's in the spirit of Valentine, right? I think next week Sunday is Valentine's Day, right? Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that. Please stay tuned. Make sure you comment anything that stood out to you in today's episode, and we will see you, or we'll talk to you next time.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.